Every heart carries a chain. Some are heavy with pride, others are polished with the glitter of wealth, and many are wrapped in fear of losing what they love. You believe you are free. You walk through life thinking nothing binds you, thinking you control your own destiny. But look closer. The truth is more dangerous. Most people live their lives tied to unseen ropes, ropes that pull their hearts without them even noticing. You rise every morning chasing validation, comparing yourself to others, fearing what people will say. And you tell yourself, this is protection, this is survival. Yet the Quran asks you plainly, have you seen the one who takes his desire as his God? That verse is not about someone far away. It is about you, about me, about every soul that bows secretly to its own ego. We think we are safe, but the very thing we hold on to is the very thing drowning us. What if the shield you trust, your pride, your wealth, your name, is the very sword cutting you down? What if the thing you believe is protecting you is the very chain enslaving your soul? You may not see it now, but the greatest prison is not behind bars. It is inside you. It is the hunger that is never satisfied. From the time you are a child, you are taught to compete. You are praised when you are first, shamed when you fall behind. That praise plants a seed, that shame waters it. And soon, you begin to crave the eyes of others more than the gaze of Allah. As you grow, the cycle deepens. In your family, you compare yourself to siblings. Who is more successful? Who earns more? Who is respected more? In your workplace, you measure your worth by the promotions you get, by the car you drive, by the house you live in. When you scroll through your phone, you see others flaunting what you do not have, and something tightens in your chest. Envy, jealousy, restlessness. And still you say to yourself, it is normal. It is just ambition. It is just pride. But every excuse you make is another lock on your heart. Ego is clever. It whispers that it is your protector. It tells you, defend yourself, never look weak, never let anyone have the last word. It convinces you that anger is strength, that arrogance is dignity, and so you wear your ego like armor. But armor can also be a coffin. What you think guards you is what buries you. You argue with your spouse not to solve, but to win. You discipline your children not with mercy, but with pride. You walk into gatherings not to connect, but to be seen. And all the while, your heart suffocates. It looks like power, but it is weakness. It looks like freedom, but it is slavery. It looks like protection, but it is poison. You tell yourself, this is who I am. This is me being strong. But in truth, it is the chain pulling you further from Allah. You do not even realize it, because the ego does not roar. It whispers. It hides behind your smile. It cloaks itself in excuses. And so you keep feeding it, and it keeps tightening its grip. And one day you wake up, wondering why your prayers feel empty, why your heart feels heavy, why your soul feels restless. And that is when you realize, this is not ambition. This is not strength. This is betrayal. Betrayal of your own soul. Betrayal of your own fitrah. But who will tell you? Who will expose this chain for what it really is? Centuries ago, Allah sent reminders through His prophets, through His companions, through His saints. And among them was a man who tore the veil off the ego, who showed the world that the deadliest enemy is not the one outside your home, but the one inside your chest. His name was Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. May Allah be pleased with him. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani was no ordinary scholar. He was no ordinary teacher. He was a man whose life was a mirror, reflecting the true war of the believer, the war against the self. He reminded people that the battlefield is not in the desert, nor in the palace, but in the heart. He told his students again and again, the nafs is your fiercest enemy. If you conquer it, you are safe. If you surrender to it, you are destroyed. There is a story told of a disciple who boasted to the sheikh about his worship. He spoke proudly of how many prayers he offered, how many nights he stayed awake in devotion. The sheikh looked at him and said, "Do not speak of your worship. Speak of your sincerity. Allah does not look at how much you do, but at how pure your intention is." In that moment, the disciple understood. His chain was not laziness. His chain was pride. And pride is heavier than iron. Another story speaks of a thief who once entered the sheikh's home. Instead of anger, the sheikh treated him with mercy. He gave him food. He gave him kindness. The thief was shocked, and in that mercy he saw a light he had never seen before. He repented. He changed. Why? Because the sheikh's heart was free of ego. He did not see insult as insult. He saw insult as a test. He did not see the thief as an enemy. He saw him as a lost soul in need of guidance. That is what freedom looks like. That is what being spiritually untouchable means. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "The most hated of men to Allah is the one who is proud and arrogant." And Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani carried that hadith into his very bones. He would remind his students, arrogance is not dignity, it is blindness. Love of dunya is not ambition, it is betrayal. Ego is not protection, it is poison. He saw what people could not see. He saw that every boast is another lock on the heart. Every arrogant glance is another shackle on the soul. Think of your life today. Think of how you post online, how you scroll endlessly comparing yourself to strangers. Think of how you guard your reputation more fiercely than your prayer. Think of how you justify anger as self-respect. Sheikh Jilani would say, "You are polishing your chains instead of breaking them. You are feeding your jailer instead of starving it." This wisdom is not ancient history. It is not locked in old books. It is your reality, here and now. And the question is, will you ignore it? Will you let the chains grow heavier? Or will you break free before it is too late? Because the chain does not stay silent forever. It pulls, it strangles, it drags you into darkness. And the one who ignores it discovers, too late, that every step away from Allah is a step deeper into the fire. Shall I tell you what happens to the one who ignores this truth? Shall I tell you what happens to the one who ignores this truth? The chain grows heavier. At first, it is just a whisper. At first, it is just a thought in your heart. But over time, the whisper becomes a command, and the command becomes your master. You lose the sweetness of salah. You stand on the prayer mat, but your mind is wandering in the marketplace. You recite Quran, but your heart is busy comparing itself to others. You fast, but all you feel is hunger and pride at your own endurance. The worship becomes hollow, the rituals become empty, and still you cannot see why. The truth is simple. Your heart is covered with arrogance, with envy, with the love of dunya. And so, your family begins to suffer. Your children feel your harshness, not your mercy. Your spouse feels your pride, not your gentleness. You wonder why the house feels tense, why the air feels heavy, why peace has slipped through your fingers. But it is the chain. It has moved from your heart into your home. Communities collapse the same way. Brothers envy brothers. Neighbors compete with neighbors. Muslims who should love one another start measuring one another, weighing each other's worth by dunya, not by taqwa. And then we ask, why is there no unity? Why no barakah? The answer lies in the chain each of us carries silently. Every sin you excuse is another link added to the chain. Every boast you allow is another lock sealed tight. Every arrogant glance you cast is another shackle placed on your soul. Until one day, when calamity strikes, you look around for comfort and find none. You look for peace in the dunya, and it betrays you. You look for safety in your name, your money, your strength, and you realize they were never a shield. They were the knife in your hand, turned against you. That is the cost of ignoring the truth. The more you feed the ego, the more it starves your soul. And the one who starves his soul is already dead before death comes. But if ignoring this truth leads only to destruction, then what is the way out? How do you cut the chain before it strangles you completely? The answer is as old as the Quran, as timeless as the Sunnah, and as living as the wisdom of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. The answer is remembrance. The answer is surrender. The answer is to kill the ego before it kills you. Allah has not left you without an escape. He has given you dhikr, the constant remembrance of His name. He has given you tawbah, the doorway that never closes no matter how many times you fall. He has given you sabr, patience that turns pain into purification. He has given you ikhlas, sincerity that makes even a small deed shine brighter than mountains of empty rituals. And He has given you taqwa, the shield that truly protects, not the false shields of pride and dunya. The path begins with humility. Lower your head before Allah, and you will never bow before creation. When you say Allahu Akbar in prayer, do not let it be words on your tongue. Let it be fire that burns away your arrogance. When you give charity, give it in secret, so no eyes can praise you, so only Allah knows. When you speak, let your words heal, not cut. When you are wronged, forgive, not because they deserve it, but because your heart deserves freedom. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani taught that the one who bows only to Allah becomes untouchable. The dunya cannot enslave him. People cannot intimidate him. Fear cannot control him, because his heart is free. And paradoxically, the weaker you make yourself before Allah, the stronger you become before the world. The one who admits, I am nothing without Allah, becomes a fortress that no trial can shake. The one who breaks before Allah stands unbroken before creation. That is the secret. That is the path to becoming spiritually untouchable. Do not wait for calamity to teach you this lesson. Do not wait for loss to show you what truly matters. Begin now. Make dhikr when you rise and when you sleep. Ask forgiveness before the night swallows your day. Reflect on death before it arrives. Teach your tongue to say, Alhamdulillah, in ease and in hardship. Teach your heart to trust Allah when the dunya shakes. And watch how the chains begin to fall. One by one, they break. One by one, the locks open, until your heart is light, and you walk in a world full of shadows, yet carry within you a light that no darkness can touch. This is your choice, to remain chained in pride, or to walk free in humility, to keep bowing to dunya, or to bow only to Allah, to live as a prisoner, or to die as a king in the eyes of your Lord. The one who loses himself in Allah finds himself untouchable. The one who kills his ego finds true life. The one who remembers Allah becomes remembered by Allah. And what greater honor could there be? So I ask you now, which chain weighs on your soul? Is it envy? Is it arrogance? Is it the endless hunger for dunya? Tell me in the comments, share your struggle, because by naming the chain, you begin to break it. And if this message touched your heart, then do not keep it to yourself. Subscribe for the next reminder. Join me again in this journey of the soul. Because each step we take together is another step away from darkness, another step closer to Allah. And remember this, the one who bows only to Allah never bows to anyone else.